This family had no idea that this thing that they were using for a doorstop was worth a fortune. Let's travel back to the year 1799. On a fairly nice day in spring, a 12-year-old boy named Conrad Reed was spending the day outside fishing at this creek that ran through their family's farm in North Carolina. While Conrad was fishing at this creek, he noticed something unusual under the flowing water. So he set his fishing pole down on the ground so he could get a closer look to see what this thing was. And when he got closer to see what this object was, he noticed that it was a weird shaped yellow rock. And this really stood out to him because this rock was different from all the other rocks that were in this creek. So he got into the water, he reached down to pick up this rock, and as he was trying to pick up this rock, he realized that, wow, this is a heavy rock. So he used both hands to pull this rock out from the creek. And when he did this, he would look at the rock and he was amazed that this was a really cool and unusual yellow rock. But he didn't have a clue to what it was, but he knew that it was a really cool looking rock. So after taking a moment to look and examine this unusual, strange, but cool rock, he would carry it back to his house so he could show his father. When Conrad got back to his home, he would show his father this rock, who was named John Reed. So after John inspected the rock and he was looking at it, he was amazed because it was a really cool but unusual rock, but he didn't have a clue what it was or what it could have been. So instead of just throwing this cool rock back outside, he would go ahead and use this rock as a doorstop, which this rock would be used as this doorstop for about 3 years. Then in 1802, John was starting to get curious about this rock he had when he was hearing other people talk about gold. Now, keep in mind, not a lot of farmers in that area knew or had the knowledge of what gold looked like or knew its true value. So I just want to lay that out there for you guys. So he would grab this heavy rock and he would take it into town to see if anyone could identify what this rock was. Was it worth anything, or was it just a really cool rock? Then a jeweler, seeing this rock, was able to quickly identify the rock, and he told John, "Hey, you have a 17-pound gold nugget. Name your price and I will take it." So John, having no idea what gold was worth and didn't even have a clue that it was gold in the beginning because he didn't know what a gold nugget looked like. So he looked at the yellow rock and he looked at the jeweler and he said, I'll take $3.50 for it. Which at the time for John, this was a week's worth of wages. So to John, this was a pretty good deal. The deal was made and both went their ways. But John didn't realize that that rock was really worth $3,600, which is about $360,000 in today's dollars, which this would have set John and his family for a few lifetimes. That's crazy to really think about that. How could you let that slip? Why? Oh my God. But thankful for John, that didn't stop there. After this transaction happened, John would become fascinated with finding more gold. He would even organize a small gold mining operation in 1803, which they would later find a 28-pound gold nugget, and from there he would continue his career in finding and mining gold. He even got into the underground mining, which would make him more money, and he did this till his death in 1845, which he had become really rich from all the gold he found on his property, which none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for John's 12-year-old son, Conrad, who was hanging out by the creek and found that gold nugget. Here's a little bit of history for you. Please subscribe. Peace, I love you, and as always, God bless. When Conrad got back to his home, he showed his father, who was named John Reed, who was a famous person. Gosh. John would become fascinated with finding more gold. He even organized a small tea, please. More gold, please. Which, if it wasn't for his 12-year-old son playing and fishing by the creek, and he found that gold nugget, none of this would have been possible. And because of that, John was able to get some gold. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? Sometimes I just don't know. Okay, does that sound right? All right, guys, let me know. Have you ever found gold? Have you ever mined for gold? Okay, please let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, all right, bye.